Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have an interesting video here. This is an seat module for 2017 um, Camaro SS 6.2, and this is for my good friend Paul Danner. He sent this to me right here. Actually, yeah, that's the USB as a store. So as you can see, right here, Paul sent me this. This is from a friend of his that he is trying to help. Let me just put this on the side. Got it covered on my pen on the back. So to make the story short, let me actually start the screen recording so we can all see what I'm also seeing, and then I can put the camera right in here so you guys can get a closer, even closer look. Sorry about that. Of what is going on the table. All right, so um, let me take you over to information. I did, as usual, the homework and see what are we're working on. So this is the seat module K29F. All right, guys. So this is in Identifix. Yes, it is a 2017 Chevrolet Camaro SS 6.2, and that's all we need really from what we have or the information we need from what we are getting in here. So the seat module wiring is actually pretty simple. You got a main battery power, which is in connector X1. And then this is only a two connector. We got the X1 where most of the wires are here, and then the X2 right here. On the X2, we have pin 8, which goes to the HVAC control, which is the 826. Again, this is from Dodge Information. Um, So pin 8 is a lean bus communication. They actually name it like something like a data bus, or I will have to go back to the information, but it's just a lean bus. It's a one wire communication. So we got a main battery fed feed, a ground, an ignition right here on pin 10. This ground is for the module, and then the module will have control of a heating element, which is in this case Pin 4 is the ground for the hidden element, and then the module will, on command of the HVAC controls, which has the switches for the heated seats. As soon as you press that, it will close the circuit and then start to heat in the element right here. Also, we had on the same part, we have pin in connector X2, we will have pin 6, which is the thermistor, and then a ground for the thermistor. We can see the thermistor grounds are shared, and then we have, in the same driver, we have the driver back and the driver cushion. So there's two seat elements and then two thermistors. So I will know how much temperature is in there, and I will turn it off. Depends on how hot are they getting. The same thing goes over for the passenger side, and then we can see that in here. For the pinouts, go over to connector. Let's say if we want to know if we are correct on the assumption that 6 is actually indeed the hidden element, or as if it's 6 on the connector 2. So let's go over to connector 1, and then if we go over to pin 6, it says driver heated seat element control. If you go over to connector 2, and we go over to pin 6, it says driver heated seat NTC signal, and that's a thermistor. So that's how I know that we are indeed connected correctly. So what I try to reproduce in here is his concern, or the customer concern, is that when the key is off, obviously you will have always this power because it's a steady battery. The ignition will not be there. And as far as Paul told me, he's getting almost battery feeding back to the ignition, and then like that is waking up the rest of the module because this battery is somehow coming back to this wire and then feeding the ignition circuit and then waking up the rest of the vehicle, and then it's a huge amp draw or parasitic draw. So this is my connections in here. I'm using so obviously connector X1. I'm using the battery. I have in battery, I will have the red lead of my oscilloscope. On the ignition, I have the blue wire. On the green wire, I have here now the communication. Oh, sorry, not the communication. This is actually let me just go back. This is the temperature sensor. And then in here, I'm actually using the arbitrary wave generator that this picoscope that I'm using is a really, really capable tool. It has two signal generators on the back and it has four channels on the front. And this is a 16-bit oscilloscope, so it's really, really low noise and low voltage. So it's really good. But again, coming back to what we need or what we're doing in here. So I'm supplying power, ignition. I have all the grounds piggyback in here, which is just for the sake of the oscilloscope. And this is a cover for this module. Make sure that we are seeing that. Yes, we are. And I'm just gotta be careful here because this is a ground for the light. So what I'm using the light in here is instead of the seat element, trying to see if I can activate this and make uh, able to see or try to duplicate his concerns. So what I have in here is I'm going to move channel blue channel over to the waveform generator, which I have it open on the bottom as you can see, and I'm supplying, as you can see, that signal there. If I go down to less speed, that is just because of the actual um, filter that I'm using, and then that's what we can see, but it's actually in a square wave. So if I use a different, let me see this, because sometimes if you activate a filter too much, it's just going to um, take the signal away from you. So let's see what we have here. Let's speed. See, this is, so we have to raise the actual filter, and that's what when you are, come on, if you're using the filter, then you go this way. If you're using the enhanced resolution bits, it's kind of like the same way of a filter. Just to explain you that, so we are definitely injecting the signal. The only thing that is I'm not sure, what kind of signal is this. So I just went over to, I can turn this off. So let me go over to the signal generator here. I'm going to turn it off. And I can make my own signals in here. So all I did is in a binary code, because you can select anything you want in here, right? So I can give, as a binary code, if I would have had the exa decimal reading of that signal, I can reproduce it perfect even with hex or binary. So I just went like 100110000111111, and you know ones means high, zero means low. So you can go 1 1, that means two times high, 0 0, two times low, or you can go 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0, and you can then see that difference in there. And then I can apply that to the signal and then generate it. So when it generates the signal, that's exactly the signal is being generated up in this, in the, you know, injecting it into the device. Right now, I only have the power on, not the ignition. So I'm going back to, those are just rulers that I don't need. That is okay. The frequency, I was trying just to play this with different frequencies. Green channel, again, is just the temperature sensor. I want to see if I see any difference on that. We can see now that the ignition circuit is down, is in zero, which is his concern. Feeding back to this, I don't see that here. We can see that we have battery voltage up in the red wire, which is the battery fed for this module, this little heated seat module, and the voltage on the sensor is doesn't change. I can see some noise in there with what I'm injecting in there, but it's not responding. I wanted to see if I can make for any way make the heated come on, and then see if he after and I'd hit it on, the module stays on and sends that signal back to the ignition. I'm going to turn the ignition on, and we can see for a second in there. I'm going to stop the capture. So right now we did have a response on temperature, because if I go back right there, we got now on the sensor a 5 volt reference. And that is exactly, so the signal is coming, ignition wasn't on, boom, the sensor went up to 5 volts. It didn't see any response because obviously it's not through a resistor, so it doesn't see response and it just shuts down. But nothing on the heating, right? So again, if I go over to the wire diagrams right here, I am connected on pin 6 and pin 4 with test light, and I have on pin 6 the temperature sensor seeing to see what the response is. And yes, the computer sent the 5 volts. There is no heating element or thermistor in there, so it's trying to see if it's anything in there, but I get no activations on any of the heating elements. And that was my hope, if I can get that to respond, then to see if by any chance the actual module wakes up and then stays up. Because yes, right now I have, I don't know why my other readings are, at least I lost the cursors that I have one for each. But yes, we can see that, their own battery voltage and everything, and nothing is changed. So what I'm also trying to reproduce is by turning the ignition off, see if it's still keeping the communication on that link bus with, like, I mean, with the communication that I am actually supplying, anything changes and make that ignition feed go up. Because right now, nothing is in there, the switch is open. If by any chance these start to send a feedback of power, I will see it immediately on the oscilloscope, and this is my hope. So I'm trying this for at least an hour, hour and a half, or maybe even a little more. And it has not happened one time. So I'm hoping to get in touch with Paul and see what else he found, or look into the testing that he was doing to see if I can reproduce this a little better. But this is where we are. So this is like part one, testing driver zero heated seat module on this 2017 Camaro SS for my good friend Paul Danner, aka Scanner Danner. I am very pleased and very honored to consider him my friend. He's a great guy, and I mean, he is definitely uh, an amazing, um, not just an amazing person, but also an amazing asset for our industry, for all these young mechanics and everything that he's helping out in. I'm not just saying the United States, everywhere in the world, because I think he's multinational. Everybody loves his videos. I know there was a guy in Korea translating his videos, and he okayed it. Just go ahead and translate because people is learning from his classes, and I'm one of those persons. I owe him so much because he helped me to grow up to where I am now. He gave me that extra step that I needed to become a truly diagnostician and open my eyes to a new world of automotive modules and everything that I've been learning and learning and learning, and now I apply into all I do. So thank you so much, Paul. I'm really, really humble and really thankful for everything that you do to us or for us. So hopefully I can help you with this. Otherwise, guys, stay tuned. This will be part one. Part two coming soon. All right. Talk to you later. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.